Warning: the Not Thought podcast contains language and content that may not be suitable for younger audiences. Listener discretion is advised. There will also be spoilers for various anime throughout the course of this episode. Please use caution in case we discuss a series you haven't finished. Finally, the opinions expressed are those of the individual participants and may not reflect the Not Thought podcast as a whole. Enjoy the show.
Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas! Have all you good guys, gals, and binary pals been good this year?
Define good.
I'm trying my best. My best isn't always good enough, but I'm trying my best.
I'm banned in 7 countries, Antarctica, and the state
Now,
of
Megan,
Iowa.
I'm going to have to put you on the naughty list again.
Aw, damn it. Am I on the naughty list for wanting to see Char and Amuro fuck again?
No, that's fine. We don't discriminate here.
I think it's for all
What
the
am I on the naughty list for?
I think it's for all the terrorism.
Ah, that's the spirit. We're here for another episode of the Duck Talk Podcast, the podcast where a group of nerds come together to talk about the latest and greatest in anime dubs, and also talk about that declining birth rate. Anyway, we're here.
You know, when I was watching this, I briefly looked up to see when exactly this ran, and I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed to learn that. Well, I was very happy to learn that I outlived Shinzo Abe, but I was kind of hoping that like its existence spontaneously caused him to get shot or something. But no such luck.
Oh, goodness.
Amon, I want you to know that I just imagined the current Margaret Thatcher ass bitch, who's the Prime Minister of Japan, walking into a field in Japan, looking up, and then Shinzo Abe comes out like Mufasa.
I mean, that does seem to be the vibe, so...
Make them have children.
Anyway, I'm Jet, and I'm joined tonight by Megan.
Hello, I'm only a wanted terrorist in this country of Garlemald, which does not exist in real life.
Andrew.
Hey guys, how's it hanging, everybody?
And Amon.
I am currently outfitted in traditional New England winter regalia, which means I am wearing shorts and drinking some kind of iced coffee from Dunkin'.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, those sound
Hell
like
yeah,
good Christmas
brother.
vibes. Anyway, we're here tonight to talk about SANDA, brought to you by the mind of one Paru Itagaki and animated by SARU. If you haven't seen the series, here's the description from A&N. In the near future, Christmas has faded into myth, and the birth rate has dropped so dramatically that children are now the most precious commodity. Society has artificially extended adolescence to preserve its youth, and traditional holidays, like Christmas, are a mere legend of the past. Katsuki Sanda is a middle school student who unexpectedly becomes entangled in a strange and dangerous mystery. When his classmate Shiori Furumura accuses him of carrying a curse that could help her find her missing friend DJ Ono, Sanda's life takes a dramatic turn. Together, they embark on an incredible adventure to unravel the truth behind Ono's disappearance and uncover the hidden magic of Christmas itself.
I'm glad you had an actual synopsis on hand, because I remember while we were planning this, I was trying to talk to my wonderful fiance, Stephanie, what this show was about, and I realized as I was talking about it, how much of a crazy person I fucking sounded like. Okay, so it's about social commentary, it's about society, it's about children. What the fuck is this about? Santa Claus? Why is he a kid who can turn into Santa Claus and that's his superpower?
A reminder that Sanda is technically a magical girl.
Sanda is a magical girl, and see, I think the funniest thing is technically it is a shonen battle manga.
Or would Sanda technically run by, the Incredible Hulk rules?
Well, see, this is the thing, because if you're asking me... No, I know no one asked me, but if you're asking me, the person he clearly resembles the most is the Fawcett DC Captain Marvel, right down to wearing red all the time. So this is clearly a superhero story.
He does operate on Shazam rules, doesn't he?
Oh, fuck, that means in the live action he's gonna be played by The Rock.
No, The Rock plays Black Adam.
Oh shit, that's worse, he'd be played by Zachary Levi.
Exactly, see, even worse.
Amazon Prime presents Sanda the live action.
So,
Jet, you had an actual point you were saying before we derailed you. What was that?
before we get too deep into the discussion, do you want to take the time to mention that, like, as Jet mentioned before, this is on Amazon Prime, which is definitely a bit of a sore spot in light of recent developments with them, specifically in their attempts at testing out AI dubs. And while the public outcry seems to have thankfully been bad enough to get those dubs taken down, I definitely can't blame anyone who saw that and decided they didn't want to risk supporting anything on Prime if there's a chance of another AI dub getting shoved out. Having said that, well, I think it's important to, we all take a stand against AI in any form. I do kind of worry this might end up negatively affecting any actually normal dubs on their service, including this one, and I really hate for any of the folks involved to have their work overlooked just because of corporate nonsense. So, yeah, this episode is basically, we're just here to celebrate art, man. Just
Well said. I'm absolutely in agreement that there's absolutely stuff that has been going up on that service that like is legitimately good, solid anime English dubs that I do want to talk about on the show, and this is one of them.
I mean, might as well get this out of the way now. Like, normally in these episodes, we tell you where you can watch this stuff. And as we mentioned before, you could watch this on Prime. You could, but look, we're not your parents. If you want to watch it through other means, then we're not going to stop you.
Paru Itagaki and her work exemplifies the spirit of the anarchist. So do what you gotta do. Get your media however you want. Don't be surprised if you're not bailed out when you blow up a building.
And if you're under 14, technically, according to the show, it's legal.
A surprising amount is legal in this show when you're 14.
Astonishing.
As mentioned before, we are here to talk about the dub. And as is usual for our discussions on this show, we'll start off by talking about the folks behind the booth with the ADR staff, specifically the voice director and the adaptive scriptwriter. So on voice direction for this dub, we have one Alex Von David, and on scripts we have Chris Kaysen. Alex Von David has the direction on such dubs as Blue Exorcist, Don Da Don, and Rama Ra X2, and Chris Kaysen has done adaptive scripts for dubs on such shows as Detective Conan, Bloodlad, and Buggy, the Labyrinth of Magic. So, yeah, I'll kick this off by saying, yeah, this is just a really excellent dub across the board. Like, really got nothing but praise for this one.
Oh, easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, easily. I felt like this really fit the vibe that it was going for. I think that a lot of the smaller technical work on characters was really interesting, and Alex Von David brought out a lot. The script went ham when it needed to, but also was able to walk that line of really nailing the emotional poignancy at its heart, because the show can go from really biting social commentary to holy shit, my dong is ginormous, which it's a very Paru Itagaki show. And as somebody who I think was one of the people on the original Beastars episode back when we did that God knows how long ago the first season of Beastars was, I don't want to age into dust any more than I already do. I think that this show resonated a little bit more with me than Beastars, just because I felt the commentary was a lot more in your face, and Beastars is pretty in your face too, but I think the relevancy of a lot of the stuff in it as I've become older and like in my 30s hit with me more. The script writing, again, really good. I absolutely adored just some of the one-liners and stuff. Like, there's a part where Fuyumi kicks in a door and just goes, "Your door is really easy to kick in." All of the, like, Santa-isms, it's just really good. I'm mad that this isn't W eligible for this year, because it would get a lot, so I have to, like, put this in the Mind Palace for a little while.
That's why you do what Steph does and keep a list for like a good year or so.
You think my ADHD-ridden ass is gonna keep a fucking list?
I'm not even going to lecture you, bro. I'm in the same boat. Fuck.
Brother, I can keep my OC straighter than I can keep most things, including myself. Anyway, next person.
I mean, this is, what do I say beyond this is great before I start, we're gonna drill down to individual performances later. It's just really good. Like, It definitely benefits that the anime was already made by people who clearly understood the tone that the... I haven't actually read the manga, so I'm speculating here, but like... This is going for a very specific tone, and I think the anime, Alex and Chris did a very good job of seeing this and being like, okay, I understand what this is going for. We know how to translate that into English. Like, there's this very sense of bluntness. I was thinking about this earlier. I don't know if Paru has spoken at any length about if her father's own work has had any influence on her writing style. But if it has, I think the thing that stands out is not, like, content. It's just a sense of, like, no, just go for it. No, do it. You think it's stupid? Who cares? Do it. Go do it anyways. Go for it.
Didn't her father write a manga where a man fucking MMA wrestles Obama?
I believe he goes and wrestles every new American president, so...
Yes, he's around, literally bullies every U.S. president once they take office.
Yeah, that's... I don't know if it's, like, the chapter immediately after an election happens, but that is a trend. That's a thing. Why should he not? What are they going to do, arrest him?
Because Baki has been running for so long, he has gotten to do what is effectively the U.S. president friendship ceremony for multiple presidential cycles.
Is Baki old enough that there's one with Clinton in it? That'd be very funny.
I believe so.
Okay, I need to look up what the first president was.
Great. I think it started in the 90s, so...
Baki the Grappler started in 91.
Oh my god, I think... Oh, he would have had time if that was a thing in his head at the moment it started it. Man, that's beautiful.
See, the only downside is that he couldn't do it to fucking Reagan.
You win some, you lose some.
Okay, so yeah, there's George W. Bush, Obama, Biden, there's Hillary, and there's...
What?
There is Hillary!
Was he hedging his bets, or... Did he also think 2016 was going to go a different way?
Oh, okay. I'm apparently finding out that Yujiro Hanma had sex with Hillary Clinton.
Beautiful. See, this is what I'm talking about here. Like, what are they going to do? Arrest me?
I don't know if that's like more or less weird than Barack Obama being a major character in Air Gear for some reason.
No, the Air Gear thing's better, but enough about Air Gear for now. There's no fear in I'm blanking on Paru's dad's name. There's no fear in his work. There's no fear in Paru's work. She's just gonna go for it. And this feels like a dub that clearly understands this is a show. Like, no fear. No. Just do it. Who cares? Go for it.
I think the most fascinating thing to me, the character designs in Beastars are very distinct in the manga. But, like, her art style is very distinct, expressive for her animal characters. So it's fascinating to see what a person looks like in her art style. Seeing that art style translated to the SANDA anime, biggest old peepers you ever done seen. Just staring into your soul. Curious creature expression that endears me to my core.
I mean, I don't know, innocent isn't the word I would use for Fuyumura, but, like, I don't know, maybe SANDA.
I don't know, man. There's something about Fuyumura as a character where it's 6-foot creature, and I want to protect you.
Please, Fuyumura is just Legoshi's human Sona.
Like human, lesbian, terrorist Legoshi.
A bit of Legoshi. I think design-wise she looks like Hajime Hina.
Turns over the clock like the 1982 meme. Oh god, it's Danganronpa.
Oh god, it's always Danganronpa, because they're shitty adults and terrorism. This is a good dub. This is a really good dub. I'm legitimately surprised I saw Bang Zoom pick this up, because I'm wondering if this was like with Dandadan and Witch Watch, where I think like the Japanese production company might have like commissioned it or paid for it themselves. Which seems to be a much more common occurrence nowadays, which I don't dislike.
Hey, I mean, as long as they're willing to pay for good stuff and not too bad, I'm not complaining.
Fair enough. And Alex Von David, Chris Kaysen are no strangers to the dubbing field. I've been dubbing since the 2000s. I think they've both been around since like
Chris Kaysen like definitely early 2000s because he was like really early animation. Alex Von David like at least 2005, I want to say.
He was around for like hard. Yeah, that's almost 20 years old.
Please shut up.
Now you know how I feel whenever I see an anniversary of some album that came out when it was new that I read about in, like, Pitchfork in high school. It's like, oh god.
This is going to be the last time I bring up age on this episode, obviously.
I'm sorry to tell you to shut up. I just don't want to remember that I'm aging.
See, honestly, that's a theme for the show, actually, now that I think about it. So, even if it hurts, I must remind you and everyone here the passage of time, moving faster and faster, and the TikTok generation will soon leave Haruhi Suzumiya's in the dust.
Yeah, like I said before, really nothing but good things to say about this one. Balance by DVD pretty much always does fantastic work, and did the same here. Got a really good group of actors together. Also, just I got to do some really interesting stuff with the stuff direction-wise. Something very similar to another dub of his I really like, Erased, specifically in that, as we'll get to later, having to direct an actor who essentially has to play out the performance of another actor, like doing it a sort of inception thing with that actor being like the older version of that character, and it's just a really interesting thing to have to direct, and I feel like Alex folds that off really seamlessly. And script-wise, I really like what Chris Casey brought to the table. It is like a little weird seeing that Alex David didn't do the writing for this sub as well, since he normally tends to do writing on all the dubs he does, but I guess there must have been some pretty serious time constraints on this. But definitely no complaints with what Chris brought here. Like Megan was saying, really good job of just balancing the tone. A really good mix of comedy and knowing all the biting social commentary. Just really good across the board. Again, really nothing but good things to say about this one. And speaking of which, I guess that's as good a way as any for us to transition into talking about the cast of this show. So for the first section, we're going to talk about some of the problem kids, or at least problem kids as far as like what this show is considered to be problems. So we've got Fumi Namatame, Ichie Ono, and Nico Kazao. Namatame is a child from class 10, which is where the school sends all the kids who've killed adults before, and she's obsessed with making Santa Claus her next victim. Ichie Ono is Fuyumo's roommate who vanished from the school one day and is deeply in love with her. And lastly, Nico is Santa's Santa Rain's fiance, who initially doesn't care much about him, but starts getting more and more interested in him as he sort of tries to figure out his whole Santa persona.
I enjoy the fact that, like, two of these three girls have, like, emotional turmoil going on, and then the third just talks a little openly about her bowel movements in front of her husband.
Honestly, that's how you know they're a perfect couple. She's not afraid to tell him that she shits.
Sorry, did you just rip ass?
So getting into who plays these characters. For Fumi Namatame, we have Susie Young. For Ichie Ono, we have Abby Trott. And for Nico Kazai, we have Brittany Lauda. Susie Young has played such characters as Madalena Milize in 86, Jing Zillion in Empire Ranma, and Girl Type Ranma in the Ranma 1/2 remake. Abby Trott has played such characters as Kyo the World Word in Ishira, Riko Aida in Kuroko's Basketball, and Momo Ayase in Dandadan. And Brittany Lauda has played such characters as Dorothy in Dark Gathering, Ichigo in Dark and the Frags, and Ritsu in Fire Force. So, I guess it's probably good to just start going down this in reverse order.
Yeah, I'll start with good old Nico. I love Brittany Lauda's absolute, like, garbage gremlin energy. And I genuinely thought Nico was gonna become, like, one of the people trying to kill Santa, and no, she is just this awful, terrible little girl who has a fiance at the beginning she doesn't like because he's this, let's be real, Sanda's adorable. Like, he's so cute and tiny and nice, and Nico is, like, Nico would feel like one of those kids from the hillbilly couple in The Simpsons with, like, the 1,000 kids who can't read. And it really speaks to that their relationship, at the beginning, they don't particularly care about each other because they're state-arranged fiancé, and that says something about the world that they're in immediately, that they're not allowed to fall in love at all naturally, and that stuff is forbidden for them, but they know about it. but both of them don't feel any attraction to each other because, one, Nico doesn't see Sanda as masculine, and Sanda doesn't see Nico as lovable in his mind because there's no romance there. It's the states putting us together to breed, which we'll get to when we talk about the adults. But I really like Brittany's, like, little gremlin, like, scratchy performance as this character. They get that kind of very bratty, childlike thing across, I think, more than any of the other children character in the show. Because she is by far the most immature of them all. We don't know anything about their backstory, about Nico's backstory compared to, like, Fumi and Ono, Namitame and Ono. We just know that she is very crass and nasty and likes to push buttons because the first real thing that gets her to start falling for Sanda is that he finally follows her outside into a typhoon because she's like, this is boring, and she's running outside and screaming and stuff. And I just really like the kind of outsider gremlin-y garbage energy that she gives her, but also that, like, very cute childish thing when she finally gets her first kiss and is like, well, I came up here so that we could have some alone time at the twilight together. It was a lot of fun.
It's a legitimately adorable, like, interaction. Made all the more complicated by everything going on with Sanda's...
Everything.
I would agree that there is just something absolutely infectious about Nico's energy. In that, yeah, she is very brash and rambunctious, and she kind of just is like, I think she is what the character in this cast that sort of, for better or for worse, accepts the state of the world she lives in, but is like, I'm going to at least live my best life in the walls I have to live in. She's still, like, discovering herself and discovering more about her and her relationship with Sanda and, like, what she wants, honest, while being, like, a child. Like, there is something childish about the way she acts, but it is sincere and believable in a genuine way. Like, I'd say Nico is the character that is, like, most comfortable being a normal child.
Oh, no, I get what you're saying there. That actually is, like, an aspect of the character I found, like, really interesting, because, as we'll get to with, like, a lot of these other characters, I think it is kind of interesting that, like, nearly all the other girls in Sanda's life to some degree or another are, like, really want Sanda to sort of be an adult to them in one way or another, whether it be, like, with Fuyumura just wanting Sanda to, be in a Sanda form to help her with everything with Ono, or Ono wanting Santa Claus to, look after Fuyumura, and then there's everything going on with Namitame. And then, with all that going on, Nico is kind of, the only one of these girls who treats Santa like his actual age. And in that respect, I think that does kind of make their growing relationship kind of interesting, and sort of, I guess, refreshingly normal in the midst of everything else going on in this show.
There's the conflict of I shouldn't be feeling it, but then I'm feeling normal feelings. Which I will argue, at least, by the end of this season or this series, there is a change in the dynamic between him and Fuyumura, but I really like Brittany a lot as Nico. Very fun. Talks casually about shit, and I'm like, you know what? Good for you, sweet. Good for you.
Did you have anything you want to add, Amon?
She's funny, very entertaining. I was kind of wondering where her character was going to go, because it's like, you seem like it could be a problem, and then the shift towards more like, no, actually, maybe she kind of likes him when he's being, more mature, or at least more mature than, the other knucklehead boys in their school.
It is kind of funny you say mature, because I think it is kind of interesting that, the point at which he's introduced and, she starts interacting with Santa more, it's kind of the point where Santa starts, reverting back to a kid whenever he's in his Santa form, and I guess it's kind of the point where he just sort of starts feeling like he's acting his age, and I thought that whole thing was really interesting.
Mm.
I do kind of like that this group of characters is sort of, together, because I feel like they are an interesting fluctuation about what the show is going for. Each one of them is saying something different about the society they live in, or at the very least, how society views the Twilight years. Like, Nico feels the most normal in the sense of, like, you're kind of a brat, but, like, you're kind of also still developing, like, you know, the teenage puberty things where it's like, hey, this guy's dumb and stupid, but I guess I could kiss him. And then there's Fumi.
Yeah, I really like what Susie Young does with this one. It's a real interesting character.
Oh, Christ. I don't think I was expecting what they were going to do, or for them to go anywhere near as hard as they went with Fumi as a character. If Nico is kind of just like the child that has just sort of accepted her lot in life but is acting like a normal child, Fumi is
the opposite.
the child is pure and innocent and can do no wrong. Literally get away with murder.
And even before she gets to that point, just like everything we see in her backstory with like her and her mom, and like how similar to another character we'll be breaking up in a bit, her mom was just like really obsessed with trying to maintain a youthful appearance, and it's like, and how much that obsession just kind of we see how that obsession kind of ends up leaking into Fumi, and thinking that she kind of wants her mom to stay beautiful, which is why she takes an axe to her.
I don't know if she likes horror movies, but I feel like Paru Itagaki would really like horror movies, or I think she would really like The Substance a lot.
Oh, your brain went there too?
Yep, it feels really similar.
Well, let's see.
I mean, like, it's kind of a thing that in an academic understanding and studying of horror, that there's a very specific way that people believe, like, women view horror, and there's a book on this, and I if I can interject really quickly about Nabatabe and how her mother's story fits into, like, the overarching criticism that Sanda as a story has with, I would like to say, not only the Japanese government, but the way of the world in general. For me, the tragedy in Nabetabe's story is not only that her mother is so focused on chasing this idea of eternal youth and saying beautiful, to the point that it is outright text that her husband and her son have been driven away. Nabetabe believes that her genetic makeup, her face, the face that she has, is what she got from her mom. It's in a face that she sees in the mirror, but she doesn't see reflected back when she looks at her mother. And this very much connects to, I think, the main villain of the anime of Sanda, and the more general thing that Sanda as a series chases, which is, as we go through the story, and this connects to Ono, you find out that in the school, in this welfare academy, they are basically forcibly drugging these children to never have puberty. They're not going through puberty, their bodies aren't changing, they're not maturing, they're forced to stay this way until they are 18, which, in the Western sense, is when you become a legal adult. Obviously, in Japan, I believe their coming-of-age ceremonies are at 20, if someone would like to look it up. But the idea is that when they hit 18, that is when they're going to let them finally age. And that aging, as we find out, is going to come on very rapidly. So you have a society that very likely Futabe's mother grew up in a very similar thing as well, where their entire lives are decided by the government who they're going to marry, that they're going to have children, that their entire sexual future and stuff is there. But they live in a society that absolutely fetishizes them still being prepubescent and looking young. To the point that her mother has had so much facial surgery that the only thing that's still like her original self is her hands. And the thing that really finally sets Nabetabe off to kill her is that you see her mother is watching these programs at night where they sleep together, except for you find out that the kids in this world don't sleep because sleeping would cause puberty and it's a bunch of weird shit. And it releases hormones. But it's all these like chasing your youth beauty products just being bombarded at her. And it's very specifically that they always talk about how female bodies in this show change the most. But she comes in and touches her hand and pulls the arm off because her mother has cut off her own arm.
Oh yeah, what a fucking horrifying moment.
And she's like 10. And this is the night where, in a sense, she finally kills her own mother because in her mind, she eventually comes to realize that she was afraid of losing that connection to her mother. And I guess in that sense, seeing back what her life was going to become, because one day she would probably be indoctrinated into this too, because society at large in this is indoctrinating these children into believing that being 15 years old is the prime of your youth, the prime of your life. You are never going to get any better than this, and your life is downhill after the age of fucking 15. And she becomes this murderer where she's going to kill every adult on sight because she has a fear that one day she is going to become this obsessive, compulsive thing that is going to reciprocate that cycle. And instead, she's going to violently lash out because this society also doesn't believe in punishing children. It believes that there should, quote unquote, be a trauma-free life. And that idea is, won't somebody think of the children? That even the idea of the nude art form is banned to them because it could be sexualized. So she is this victim of this cycle, and Susie Young's performance gets that across because the thing about Nabetabe is that she is exceptionally cute. She is as cute as a button. She has these big brown eyes. She's very innocent looking. And the way that you get introduced to her is that they think that she's just taking the plants inside after the typhoon. They meet her after this typhoon. And they eventually get down into the sub-basement, because the kids who have killed adults are now in the sub-basement, which shows that even society, they're not going to punish them, but they still think they're subhuman. And they bring in these broken and dead plants. And they don't notice until they're already in there that the plants were dead the entire time. And you eventually kind of get this thing where Nabetabe talks about how much she likes dead plants, and it's because it reminds her of the feeling of her mom's aging hands. And Susie walks this line of being such a adorable little cutesy character and being this absolutely self-loathing, wretched girl who is violently and repeatedly lashing out at the world and the adults in it, because not only has she been failed by her parents, because, you know, her dad just up and left them, but you also have the school that is educating and protecting them, but it's really not. It's just an entity of the government and its ideas to basically, like, raise these children like lambs going to the slaughter eventually. I'm sorry, this show makes me very thoughtful.
Oh no, there is a lot to read.
Oh no, you're totally good.
Don't worry.
I really like Susie's performance. I really enjoy that she has these moments, and God, when they get into the slap fight in, like, episode 11, and she's just like, God, this is so stupid, what the fuck? Man, I hate chopsticks. No adult likes them if they're so hard for kids to use. And that kind of, to me, like, really encapsulates what the show is going for, which is, you expect us to have the ability to turn into adults, but you're not giving us the tools to let us get there.
When you say that, when I was rewatching the show, I think I noticed a line with that. I hate chopsticks. Like if a kid can't use them, it's proof that no adult ever really cared about them.
Yeah, which is...
Yeah, I guess it just really kind of reflects, really says a lot about her relationship with her mom. Yeah, that was just really interesting.
And her relationship with the school. If the adults really cared for me, they wouldn't be sending me out to be violent and murderous and keeping me in the basement.
If Oshibu really cared about me, he would not just give me all the guns I want.
He would be there to support me. An adult would... And this is also to her mother, too, like you were saying. If my mother really cared about me, she would have stopped doing what she was doing. She would have stopped hurting herself.
I think I've got an analogy that's probably going to hit for some people. Is Makima with all of the power and none of the control.
Ooh.
I like that. Yeah.
There is strength, there is power, there is madness, there is freedom, but this is a girl that is not pulling the strings. This is the most absolutely at the victim and control of the people around her, the society she resides in, and the failure of those could have stopped her from hitting this. And a lot of her arc and her conflict with Sanda and Santa, basically just have somebody finally scold her and tell her off, while also genuinely, sincerely being there when she actually needed somebody. What an insane redemption arc! Not surprise me if Fumi is like the shonen rival that becomes the dedicated ally later on in the series. It feels weird to be talking about a 10. Is she? She's not 10.
That's the trick of it, is that they're supposed to be early teenagers, but they all read as much younger.
They all
purpose,
read,
obviously,
act,
but
and sometimes look much younger because of the whole blocking aspect.
Yeah.
But yeah, it literally like, oh, this child murder going guns blazing is the Sanda equivalent of the Vegeta or the Gajeel or the Sasuke, and that's crazy to say, but I think that's exactly what they're going for here.
Yeah, I was thinking about how in sort of the beginning of the last episode where you have that bit where she everyone's run away from the festival, she's just sitting there by herself sporting a shiner trying to eat noodles, and it's like, this should feel pathetic, but no, I'm just sad. Like, why did this have to happen? This doesn't seem like it was necessary.
Yeah, I really do like Susie's performance and everything. As she brought to the table, like you guys were saying, just really good balance between, like, the whole, sweet and innocent persona and then just, everything going on beneath that and all the trauma she's carrying. And I thought Susie got, both sides across that pretty well. I think, on top of, everything else that was said, I think one thing I found really interesting, and, I'm not sure if this was really supposed to be any kind of commentary on gun violence, but I thought the way it was handled in this show was very interesting, because, I mean, it's kind of easy to forget, but, compared to here, where, gun violence is sadly, not all that unusual. Definitely not the case in Japan. The idea of just seeing this kid just walking around waving a gun to the school festival there was just something really chilling there.
Speaking of Shinzo Abe,
it felt very in tone with, if you were reading, Chainsaw Man, it was coming out, and you're coming hey, what's the scariest thing that you can think of? And it's like, a gun. That's terrifying.
Fumi, if left unattended and enabled, would have absolutely come up with the doohickey on her own.
She basically put the doohickey into her kimono.
It's fashionable. Yeah, Susie is it is infectiously cute as a button, dangerously unhinged. This is a character that needed somebody to scold them and tell them no, and this is what happens when, somebody with the bloodlust was not told no.
Who wins in a fight, though? Her or Makima?
I mean, one of them has literal magical powers and the other one doesn't. I don't know if that's a very fair fight.
Yeah, I know. Makima wouldn't stand a chance. I will say this though. Given the thing that Denji had to do to defeat Makima, Fumie would do it with Nabutabe would do it without
absolutely.
question.
And we do know she'll shoot head first, so there is also that.
I mean, this is probably gonna be a reference for all 10 people who have seen the movie. It's gonna be like if you've ever seen Rocky Horror, the part where they're having the dinner scene and everybody slowly realizes what they're eating, but Rocky just keeps going.
Anyway.
Amon's I know that exact scene.
Anyway.
Meatloaf, get your ass off the table.
Anyway, Ichi Ono. Yeah, Abby Trot really had to do a lot with this character, because, of all the girls here, I wouldn't say she has anyone the most, but, her specific traumas are, definitely kind of the most interesting.
I will say the most impressive parts to me about Abby Trott's performance and the direction on Ono in particular, there is a very clear and very distinct difference between pre- and post-puberty. In the tone of the voice, in the curiosity, in one has a sense of whimsy, and then one day suddenly it's just, I am older, I act older, I sound older, I look older, I guess I have to act older. So it's kind of like one was free and the other is trapped now that she is forced to walk this path. So, even though it's a dream sequence, there is a lot more on-screen girl-on-girl making out than most Yuri manga.
Yeah.
And it's not sexualized.
It does feel like a...
I mean, I think it kind of sounds exactly what it needs to. It really feels like you're not missing words, watching a teenager's wet dream. It gets it across perfectly.
Exactly what it is, yes. There is something about Ono's love and attraction to Mora is messy teenage coming of age soap opera. And I do like that, like, the contrast with Mora is effectively forced to grow up already and the other has not yet.
Yeah, I think it is kind of interesting that even before Ono was literally forcibly aged up. And even before that we do kind of see throughout the flashbacks that she always just clearly had a lot more of an interest. I guess not necessarily exploiting her sexuality, but just sort of was a lot more aware of that sort of thing than Furimura was, and was just much more willing to talk about it, and I thought that whole thing was really interesting, and definitely just kind of made the dynamic a lot more interesting when we do get the literal gap with them, and just how Ono has to process all of that. And I thought Abby did a really exceptional job just kind of getting all those messy emotions across.
Aside, it's pretty crazy to see a naked man and have that be a pseudo lesbian sexual awakening sequence. What is or is not forbidden, and the excitement that brings. And that's, more than anything, Ono's character is really interesting and complicated, and I think I'm genuinely impressed at how good of an actress Abby Trott is.
Amon?
What a shame. Sad. Abby's good. This Ono's arc is just a bummer because when she comes back, it feels like they've been reunited. Things will be nice, right? And this is not really a story that's interested in tying up things in neat bows like that. And it's Abby does a really good job of having to carry this character through something that I don't think necessarily it feels inevitable at first, but there's kind of this dawning sense that something bad is going to happen. And you're maybe not quite sure what that's going to be in the end, but it's a bummer, and it's a really good performance. Megan, I feel like you have a lot you want to say. Why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, and this is also coming from the perspective of somebody who is also queer. So I remember when the last episode of this aired about a month ago-ish now, and I believe it was
Caitlin Moore.
Yes. Where I believe they were the one who said, I'm going to need to take the term fridging and put it up on the high shelf for a little while. Because, you guys have said a lot of things about Abby's performance, and I really want to give her flowers, because Abby really, especially post-puberty Ono, I don't want to call them adult Ono, because they're not. They're a girl who's gone through puberty, and their body has changed, and it's been against their will that they've had this happen, because, like I said, talking about Nabutabe, that the government has basically chemically altered their bodies. They have chemically forced them into gender conformity in some way. And at 18, they will finally let them do that. They will finally let them come out of it. And obviously you have a character like Furimura, who, looks-wise, will never really look like what I think a lot of people would traditionally see a young lady as. They are very gender ambiguous. And the thing is that Ono's fate of dying to quote-unquote growing pains is that a person like Ono is not something, thematically, is not something that the government, and especially a character like Oshibu, can allow to exist. She is not doomed by the narrative because she is a female character or to bury your gaze. She is doomed by society because society at a whole, especially when they're, we gotta fix the declining birth rate in this gender fascisto state, every aspect about them is controlled. They have no idea that they are being chemically altered, essentially. and that they don't sleep because it will quote-unquote cause them to start producing hormones. And they can't believe in Santa because having wishes and something will cause them to grow up and stuff. Ono dies because a state like this can't have a person who is willing to not be heteronormative, even though, like, their awakening happens because they're looking at this taboo form, and they almost kiss because of it. And she gets this wet dream because she imagines finally being able to express to Fuyumura about this. And even in the end, you see during their last night together at this Prime of Youth festival, Ono's still being really childish at it. Like, Abby's flirting with Fuyumura is very innocent and very gentle, and she pouts and she's getting upset, and you kind of get this moment later on where Fuyumura finally realizes that she was in love with Ono the entire time, that she reciprocates her feelings, but of course it's too late because Ono awoken first not against her will, it was time. She should have had that ability to naturally have that, but the society that especially Oshibu has set up forbids that because he sees those things as disgusting, as awful. And it's so interesting that this character exists and this series exists and that she is always going to haunt the narrative because she represents what, in a sense, the world is taking away from them. This ability to become their own person on their own time, express their gender their way, to be nurtured in that, because none of the people around them see Ono having feelings for Fuyumura and that in reverse, that they might be in love, as a bad thing. Like, Sanda doesn't see that. None of the other people really see that as bad. It's just that the world that they've been put into would have never accepted it because, you know, they probably both have state-picked fiancés that we just don't know about, like Sanda has one. It's just a lot, and I really appreciate the nuance that Abby and the team put into this, because if Fuyu thinks that she is an adult, that Oshibu taunts her about having an adult body, that she's gone through all of this and her body has caught up, but mentally she is still a little girl. She is still mentally the same 14-year-old girl who has a crush on her friend, who now has to live with this burden of knowing of what the world is doing to them. This school that they think is ideal, which, mind you, by the way, used to be a department store.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Forgot that detail. I was like, oh right, this used to be a Don Quixote.
Yeah, Don. That they live in the shell of this capitalistic society that's trying to hold on to the last bastion of, we can reclaim it, we can come back, we just gotta get all these kids to never think about the world outside, that they are never going to be confronted with any quote-unquote trauma, but instead, what happens is you've created this bubble that when it bursts, all it's going to do is let in trauma, and that's what kills Ono. The growing pains wasn't that she's gay or that she's a woman. The growing pains is the burden that this world that you thought was going to take care of you just crushes you, because they don't care about you. They just care about what you can do for the next generation. And that is to just keep making kids and being straight. I love you, Paru Itagaki. I'm done.
Yeah, really well said.
Well said. Holy shit.
You had mentioned people had called this an example of fridging, and I didn't believe you at first.
No, people did, like, and listen, we do live in a day and age where, unfortunately, all of us survive Netflix's Voltron.
Oh, Christ.
I get it. There are a lot of times, especially in Western media and also in Japanese media, because, like, as of the time of this recording, we are about maybe a couple days out of a manga that was getting axed, having its two male leads just fucking hentai kiss. Like, straight out of a doujin level making out.
I don't know how to explain
And the author going on social media and being like, yeah, no, they're not gay. They're straight.
I consider that the mangaka equivalent of what color is the dress.
It's.
Are they gay? Are they not gay? It's clearly gay. What do you mean? The author said it's not gay, so it's not gay. But there's saliva trails. Are we seeing the same thing? It's the fucking dress all over it.
And the thing is, though, like, we'll never know. I'm not the person who, made two dudes make out as a giant middle finger to my editorial department. God bless you. But, like, we live in this world where we're like, everyone's like, oh, why do shippers make everything gay? Like, I'm sorry if you don't have two eyes and brain cells that fire off at each other. A lot of shonen manga is kind of homoerotic. I'm just saying, there's some homosexual undercurrent to them. Not that it's intentional or anything, but you can see why people think it that way. But we also live in a society where, unfortunately, a lot of people out there want to make sure that stuff is as scrubbed as squeaky clean as possible. And then, meanwhile, here's Paru Itagaki having a character quite literally have a wet dream over her female classmate because she is in love with her, and that causes the start of her death. Not because she is gay, but because society has set her up to fail, not able to come to terms with being able to express these feelings healthily. But no, anime isn't political, and Luffy would never, ever, ever overthrow the government.
And look, if there's any show to get out on soapbox about, it's probably this one.
I was gonna say, if anybody expected the author of Beastars to be not going for that artistic freak shit, they're not paying attention.
Beastars, famous apolitical manga.
Famous apolitical manga, absolutely.
Alright. So going on to our next section, we're going to talk about some of the adults in the academy with Ifumi Oshibu, Saburo Yakuda, and Toyo Tatsunome. Oshibu is a headmaster of the academy who looks young, but is actually in his 90s and is obsessed with making sure he and everyone around him maintains his youth. Sure, he's not an allusion to any Japanese politicians in particular, none at all, none whatsoever. What's that about a doohickey? I don't know what you're talking about. Yakuda is a member of the St. Nick Pursuit Unit, and is only tasked with capturing Santa Claus, but after he takes a side to Santa and the others, he just kind of sticks around, masquerading as a teacher. Surprisingly chill guy. And then, finally, Tatsunome is the director of the academy, and is opposed to Oshibu's method of handling students, so she eventually ends up taking Santa under her wing, and, as I think Andrew kind of described to me, basically becomes a shonen mentor.
Okay, I wanted to say it. Genkai from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So, who plays these characters? For Oshibu, we have Lucian Dodge. For Yakuda, we have Kirk Thornton. And for Toya, we have Barbara Goodson. Lucian Dodge has played such characters as Takamu Maizumi in Excel World, Hito in Jujutsu Kaisen, and both because it's kind of funny and also because, like, man, just look at the guy. Lord Elbaloy II, aka Wayward Velvet in the Fate franchise. It's just really upsetting how much this guy looks like Wayward Velvet. Dogomash is just really...
I hate this.
wondering where that boy went wrong.
Psychosomatic. That boy needs therapy. That one's for you, Amon.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, Kirk Thornton has played such characters as Yujiro Hanma in the Baki franchise, Gabumon in Digimon Adventure, Rumble Raw and Momo Suit Gundam The Origin, and just because everyone was making jokes about it in the Discord chat, the current voice of Shadow the Hedgehog in the Sonic games.
Thank you. I was going to be very mad if you did not mention Shadow the Santa Hunter.
He's got the same color scheme, too.
Is he also into Latinas?
He seems like he would be.
Oh, that looks like a man that, like, would fall immediately in front of a bad bitch Latina.
And finally, Barbara Goodson has played such characters as Nanda Banauta and Fooly Cooley, Turbo Granny and Dandadan, Goku in the Harmony Gold Double Dragon Ball, just because it's always funny to bring that up. But of course, for any 90s kids out there, Rita and Repulse and Power Rangers.
Last year, please pick your Barbara Goodson grandma mentor.
Yeah, I guess we should probably just start with Doyo first.
God, this and Dandadan were both Science Saru in the same year, and also both had a Barbara Goodson granny that was just the best little foul-mouthed shithead.
Could you imagine Turbo Granny in this show, though?
Except, Oshibu would not survive Turbo Granny.
Oshibu would not survive Turbo Granny because I feel like Turbo Granny also would hate the things that Oshibu does to the young girls of the society.
I really hate the curse out, like, Turbo Granny would gobble the dog there. I hate that I thought that, but it's true.
Christ almighty.
It's our most cursed episode yet.
That's not true.
Yeah, I know that's not true, but I wanted to say it anyways.
God, imagine when we actually get that Don to Don episode off the ground.
Nobody's even brought up cloacas yet.
After 10 long years of the podcast, does Andrew know what that means?
See, to bring it back around, let's ask the important question. Does Paru Itagaki's fursona have a cloaca?
Yes.
Discuss.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she literally lays eggs.
I mean, it's a chicken, right? Like,
Yeah,
if
she
she wears it
literally
in public, it's a chicken head? Well, yeah, there you go.
There was...
Asked and answered.
Andrew, do you not remember the incredibly uncomfortable random sequence in Beastars about the chicken girl who lays eggs to sell to the store so that Legoshi can eat her eggs in an egg salad?
Oh yeah, I forgot. She was very excited watching the boy next to her eat her eggs.
Yes. Paru Itagaki's fursona has a cloaca. Back to Barbara Goodson.
Thank you. This was important for
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of character Barbara Goodson excels at. Always really good at playing these kind of characters. Again, it's always wild to think about the fact that her and Kirk Thornton have been doing this literally longer than any of us have been alive.
I always find it very funny that Barbara Goodson started playing old women at a relatively young age, and it's taken her about 3 decades to, like, now she's, like, the correct age for playing these characters in the sense that she actually is old, finally.
I think that's a funny contrast to Kirk Thornton.
Who can still play, like, a random 30-year-old without any issue? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I literally, like, see him play grandpa roles now, and I'm like, he still sounds really young. Is he? Oh, he's almost 70. Fuck.
I met him in person. He is astonishingly well preserved for how old he is. He does not seem 70.
Well preserved is a very, very loaded term to use in this episode.
But yeah, I really do like Barbara's performance. It's the right level of sassy mentor. This really good job of like putting Oshibu in her place, and I really love how snarky she is and all of their interactions. It's really funny.
I love when she shows up in her debut in the show is so good because it's like, what the fuck is going on? And then she's just there sipping tea and she's just kicking ass and taking names. It's like, I love you, little old granny. So, okay, 30-something-year-old Toyo Tetsudome, like, when they flashbanged with me with that, I, like, felt myself falling down the stairs. I'm like, yo, what?
Was that also Barbara Goodson?
No, that was Allegra Clark.
Aw, damn. I was gonna be like, holy shit, Barbara.
What do you want to add, Megan?
Oh, I love her little thing where she's like, don't rock me too much, blah, blah. And she's like taunting fucking Oshibu. I love her. And I just love that she just outright breaks his finger at one point and it's like, stop being a pussy and hit me.
I was like, yeah, I do appreciate that, besides Nico, she's kind of like the only other character in the show who's, like, really willing to treat Sanda like a kid. And it's just another thing that kind of makes the dynamic really interesting.
She hates Oshibu and Oshibu hates her because they are diametrically opposed in their lifestyles in every way.
Yeah, she's actually willing to let herself age. Oshibu, just hates the very notion of that.
And I do love the fact that they kind of portray that there is something beautiful and innocent in the way she carries herself and she goes through the world. Like, they mentioned, like, she has retained that childlike innocence despite being 90.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's quite as effective as, like, that moment, but it is sort of, like, of all things, reminding me of that scene in the Barbie movie where Barbie just has that random encounter on the bus with the old lady, and yeah, it just reminds me a lot of that.
I can see a lot of Greta Gerwig in this series.
And anybody you want to add, Amon?
It's Barbara Goodson playing a cranky mentor. Bless. I hope she gets to keep doing this until she's 200. But I don't know. What am I gonna? It's Barbara Goodson playing an old mentor type. Like, is good.
He's very good.
She's playing an entertaining old lady. She excels at that.
Can I talk about my favorite character now?
Oh, well, go ahead.
I fucking love this goddamn mess of a 50-year-old man. This is what the youth craves in old man. Sabaru Yagida, aka Shadow the fucking, god damn it, piss! Shadow the Santa Hunter. I love that this guy is such a fucking asshole. The only reason he is helping keep Sanda alive and getting him better is because one day this man is going to turn him in for money. And Kirk Thornton's performance is just so out there, where he's trying to be like, you think that this man is gonna be such a badass, and then meanwhile he's out there like, alright kid, don't be a pussy, pull the trigger. And he's watching all this going down like, wait a second, why am I helping them? I'm supposed to be hunting you. What is wrong with me?
He's a really bad antagonist because he just adopts these kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like, I have to talk about, I think it's like episode 4 or 5, where he thinks that Sanda is going to confess to Fuyumura, and it is the anime equivalency of watching somebody get queerbaited by Marvel because it's more embarrassing than losing chess to a dog. It is watching this man 3D chess himself into shipping these kids and hoping for them to have this really adorable youth romance. But deep down, he knows that at play, if this kid is Santa, he can never fall in love with the child. But also, he really wants to see this happen. But God, that girl looks like she's gonna eat that poor kid alive. But I can't look away. Just Kirk Thornton's monologue is a man being asked to watch a train wreck happen and describe it like John Madden.
Like, this is a man in his 50s that you can tell watches the same kind of stories your mom and grandma would watch on daytime TV.
This man goes in like he's about to go to an NFL playoff game to a shitty rom-com.
That's just making me think of the ProZD video of, like, the sports commentator over romance anime.
Unfortunately for her, her opponent is very dumb.
Yeah.
Like, one of the all-time greatest internet videos. I honestly, like, Kirk Thornton kind of steals the show for me at times. He is sneakily good in this. And there's so many other things going on that grabs your attention because, let's be real, Fuyumura's actor is giving the performance of a career. Abby Trott's giving a performance of a career. There's a lot to say about Lucian Dodge's character, but Kirk Thornton is just there showing up every so often with this, like, wait a second, what am I doing here? God, am I being an adult? What the fuck? I should be getting drunk. It is the energy of your dad being asked to go to a soccer game against his will. And that's what makes it great. He is trying to do his best to, like, help these kids, but he should also be fundamentally opposed to them, but now it's complicated, and again, it's like watching a man play 4D chess against a dog, and the dog is eating the pieces.
It feels like Yaki Uda's character arc is watching a nihilist, fake-ass, I don't give a fucker learning he still cares.
Yeah, and I think it's just very interesting watching this guy who very clearly just has a lot of regrets in his life, and watching him interact with these kids as he sort of looks back on his own youth and just kind of like realizes all his mistakes. And then just kind of slowly realizes he doesn't want to see all these kids make the same mistakes he did. Which makes it just so very funny when Sada is like, man, I hope I grow up to be an adult like you. And he's like, no, you don't, kid. You don't want that.
Please don't.
Please don't. Anything but that.
You don't want that. I laughed in the face of a girl who confessed with me, and now I'm getting drunk and smoking on a fucking cot in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but yeah, Kirk Thornton is just really great here. He's always good at these sorts of sleazy characters, but I don't know if I want to say, like, charming about this guy, but there's just something so effortlessly likable about him.
Just because Megan mentioned MCU, it just hit me who Yagi Yuta kind of reminds me of a little bit. Michael Rooker's character, specifically, is it Yondu?
Oh yeah, Yondu, yeah.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yes, that's exactly who I'm thinking of. That reminds me.
They're nominal, like, asshole tough guys who clearly crave to, like, be mentors. They don't know that or they don't want to admit it, but they like that. They like being able to take all this shit they've lived through and being able to actually dole out good, useful advice to people who are seeking it.
Yagi Yuta is absolutely, he may be your father, but he isn't your daddy coded. Dude. And that's why I really like the fact that, like, he's literally helping, like, SANDA get a moment with Nico, and he's like, he's not gonna relax because he's trying to take on this crazy girl. I'm gonna take her on.
And then proceeds to get his ass beat.
He gets his ass beat because he makes a strategical error. The child is too small for his line of sight.
Yep.
I do like that he can't just point downward.
He's literally can't point downward.
It's so rigid that, like, adjusting his aim down 20 degrees is too much for him.
He's in his 50s. He's an old man. That's gonna hurt his joints.
Andrew, you do not have joint pain. Okay, you can, but, like, that's not normal.
Amon, remember...
You've lived a very hard life if you have serious joint pain in your 50s.
Amon, remember, these days Avatar Aang comes and takes your bending at 30.
I will be joining you this year!
Oh god, you're still under 30? Why?
What do you mean, why?
Damn you, 1996 babies.
Really bang-up performance from him. And speaking of bang-up performances, Oshibu might be my new favorite Lucian Dawes performance. Like, this is a real 10 out of 10 for him.
Oh my god, Oshibu is so much!
Can I start with something? Because I had a realization while we were recording.
Yes.
You know who Oshibu reminds me of? Have you ever read any of those obnoxious articles about that Brian Johnston guy who's, like, obsessed with extending his life, and he has, like, his son's blood injected in him?
Yes!
And, like, sleeps in hyperbolic tubes and all this shit. Oshibu reminds of him specifically because whenever I see a photo of this Brian Johnston, the extending your life thing, that's just nonsense, but it was just about staying young. It's like, you look your age. You are not doing anything that, like, a decent skincare routine and wearing a lot of sunscreen when you go outside would not have achieved. Why are you wasting your money like this? Please grow a brain.
It's literally the pseudoscience, like, that's such a good comparison for
especially because I'm looking at Oshibu and I can't tell how much of this is just, like, Itagaki's art style is fairly stylized and how much of this is on purpose, but it's like you at best look maybe middle-aged, at worst just look like an alien that doesn't look like a person anymore. Like,
except for his hands.
I will note this. It does never register to me that Yuta is supposed to be, like, middle-aged, because by comparison, he looks younger.
You're right.
I know he's literally younger, but it's like, what are you doing? What do you do? You've achieved... You just look weird because your face is smooth and your hands are wrinkly. Why are you doing this? Please get a second hobby.
Like, I think Oshibu is such a good antagonist for this series because the antithesis of what this series is about is just how disgustingly fetishistic Oshibu is to the concept of youth and how much he wants to effectively ever infantilize these children. They can do no wrong because they are young, because they are kids. They are pure, they are our future, they can do a little murder, they can do a little crime, it's their right. It's just something so humanely slimy, and... You know, there was a guy at A&N who did a write-up about how a lot of SANDA is representative of the modern era, at how much it is about, you are not thinking of the children, you are thinking of the idea of youth and beauty you can never have.
Yeah, like, I know we've made a lot of Shinzo Abe jokes and we will continue to make them, but also Yoshibu's mentality is just present in, frankly, a lot of politicians now. Yeah, it's just depressing how much of the world is just run by old people who just really refuse to accept their age. It's just really depressing. But I really do love what Lucian brings here. Just a really delightfully happy performance. Just a really good job of chewing the scenery in every scene he's in. And just really trying so hard to make everyone believe he's this young, charismatic person. Just so desperately wants that. And then it just makes for a really interesting contrast whenever you get those moments where he's just sort of, like, actually forced to accept his age and I really love the way Lucian handles that, and just how much you see this dude snap.
Like, Oshibu fetishizes what is the ideal of youth. No, Oshibu wants, like, the love and reverence of the youth.
Yeah, there are a lot of good scenes with Oshibu, but there are two I want to highlight. Like, the first is, of course, the moment I mentioned before, like, where Sanda, like, inadvertently kind of steps on his buttons by calling him old. And he just sort of, like, watched this dude unravel, and Lucian's delivery there is just really fantastic. Watch this guy just be an absolute nerve of emotions, it's really something.
When the mask breaks, it doesn't just break, it fucking shatters.
And the other thing I want to highlight, like, it's a much goofier scene, but it's just what it really stuck out to me, and it's also what I really want to praise Gary Thornton for. The scene that I can only describe as effectively old man yaoi. Just a bit after Yagi, like, fails to capture Santa for, like, the second time, and he's in Oshibu's office, like, really trying desperately to convince him not to come up with an excuse for Oshibu to not just, like, shove his heart into him. And he's just like...
You know what it is? It's the fucking Fairly Odd Parents trick scene having a mental breakdown and tell me how pretty.
Oh, that's actually the exact analogy I was going to go for. It really is just that. Just very much a tell me I'm pretty guy. Just, it's such an amazing scene. And especially for you the way he's like, ugh, you're terrible. Say it again.
I think for me, the thing that really gets me about Lucian's performance is that it's a showman's performance. Because that's what Oshibu is. He's a showman. He is this awful, awful human man who hates the idea of growing old so much that he keeps his heart in a fucking jar on the desk. But he's also this, like, symbolic representation, like Jet said, of the aging government and the fetishization of youth, but also at the same time still sexualizes that. He talks about so much that when women grow, that when adults cry, they cry and they release all these hormones and they look so beautiful, but it's all just an act and you're never going to be better than, like, at 15, which is a really creepy thing to say to a bunch of kids, that the peak of their life and their beauty and everything is 15 years old. That's fucking weird. But the thing that gets me is that this man is held together like Oogie Boogie.
Oh, yeah.
That when he gets so mad, all of the plastic surgery scars come out. And I think this is a world that fetishizes youth so much that these people get plastic surgery to always appear younger and the substance comes up. And it's not that this man ever thinks he's going to be replaced. This society is not going to replace this man or any of these adults, because the thing is, at the end of the day, they can say that they all want to keep the kids being kids, but they still talk to them about the declining birth rate all the time. Which is a very uncomfortable thing to think about, how we live in a very, like, post-Stranger Things world, which is weird to say this now. Our podcast lasted as long as that show did. But you kind of have this moment where so many people, when the last season came out, talked about how awful it is all the kids age because they took so much time and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, people are complaining that an actress like Millie Bobby Brown has aged, that she's done these surgeries to make herself look older and all this stuff. But at the same time, when she was a young girl, we had so many people complaining and waiting for the day that she was legal.
I do remember those comments. Yes.
And this happens to more than just her. This happens to a lot of young children who grow up in this way. But that's what, to me, Oshibu represents, is that Lucian's really hammy, but there's such a sliminess underneath Oshibu as a person, because he can sit and talk about how awful it is to grow up, and he just fetishizes children. He fetishizes the idea of youth and protecting it, yet he is creating the trauma that they're going to endure when they hit the real world. Because outside of this, if these kids are even going to be allowed to grow up outside of it, if this department store is a prison for them, and Oshibu is the warden, he is going to always keep that face up. He is always going to be this symbol of oppression for them. That his idea of giving them a quote-unquote trauma-free life and a trauma-free childhood is just giving them more trauma. Because they can't express things, and it's his fault that Ono dies. It is explicitly his policies and his fault that Ono dies. He's created this system where these kids are expected to live in ignorant bliss, that they are not to believe in something as like Santa Claus being real, because the idea of letting them sleep and dream about things and the things they want to be when they grow up are such a danger to the control that he has on them and the control society has on them, yet one day we are expecting them to just make more children for them to exploit. So there's a lot going on in the show, and there could be an entire episode just talking about the show itself and none of the performances. But God, Lucian Dodge just really steals the scene, and he makes Ono so slimy, and he makes Ono like such a... Oshibu is such a caricature of all these politicians and all these people who are like, we can't sexualize the children, we can't let them be deviants, but at the same time, one day we're going to thrust them into a world where we expect them to know how to be parents and raise the next generation and have sex, but God forbid we're going to ever let them explore their bodies and shit on that, so...
I like how there is so much, like, real world, like, social commentary that is just implied with everything that Oshibu represents. And also it turns out as a super-powered, hyperbolic time chamber that is just a house of mirrors that he literally powers himself up through his own narcissistic looking at himself in the mirror.
I think the thing that really gets me is, like, he has all this plastic surgery and he's told to rest and he just gets up and walks out of the room.
He literally is like the audacity. What an insane performance from Lucian Dodge. Just unbelievable.
I also find it really funny that Lucian Dodge is... If I had a nickel for every time Lucian Dodge played a narcissist held together by stitches, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Oh my god, you're right! Oh shit! Alright, you got a golf clap for that one.
I want a banana sticker. Where are my banana stickers? You're not my man. That's it. Fuck the shit. I'm coming up there. We gotta go find Patrick and his banana stickers.
Alright.
Oh boy.
And I guess with that, we'll move on to our final characters of the evening. So we've got Santa Claus and his little helpers, so I suppose helpers is somewhat debatable. Anyway, we've got Kazusuke Sanda and his adult form of Santa Claus, Shiori Furimura, and Hitoshi Maya. Santa is a boy descended from Santa Claus who can take his form when wearing anything with the color red, and kind of gets dragged into Furimura's orbit when she recruits him to help her find Odo. Furimura is a tall, gloomy middle schooler who pulls Santa into helping her find her missing roommate Odo, and is willing to go to pretty much any lengths to track her down. Just a little future terrorist there. And lastly, Maya is one of Santa's roommates who ends up discovering his secret, and after basically getting threatened by Furimura, he just kind of ends up sticking around to help Santa stay under Oshibu's radar. So, playing Santa, we have Edward Mendoza. For his form of Santa Claus, we have Ben Momocita. For Furimura, we have Morgan Berry. And for Maya, we have Jonathan Leon. Edward Mendoza has played such characters as Yuzu Yusurube and Togenanki, Percival, The 7 Deadly Sins, Four Nights in the Apocalypse, Hop and Undead Unlock, and Suzuki and Beyblade X. Ben Momocita has played such characters as Raido and Haharan-san wa Hakurenai, Andy and Undead Unlock, Hajime Kudo and Kulon Generic Romance, and just because this happened pretty recently, the new Saber and Fate Strange Fake. Morgan Berry has played such characters as Moraha and Yashahime, Ubel and Freerin, and funny enough, Santa and Megalobox. And then lastly, Jonathan Leon has played such characters as Drop a Goodbye Don Glees, Kazushi Yamagishi and Tokyo Revengers, and of course Maru and Heavenly Delusion. So I guess once again, probably go in reverse order, start with Amaya.
I wanted to punch this kid. I don't wish for violence on children, but I would throw this kid off a balcony.
I love this kid. He sucks. Affectionate.
I just like how he just fucking... How did he get that taser?
Yeah, I'm sure there was probably just a school store.
And like out of all these characters, probably the worst first impression you get.
It is very funny that the OP puts him in, like, the bad guy shots, even though that stops being relevant after about episode 3 or so.
there's just something about where he's a little shit, but also he's pretty, and he knows that makes him more of a little shit.
What does Nico call him, like, the 7'3" mannequin or something? Which is just...
Yes.
Like, this kid looks like he would be on, like, some magazine cover of, like, Snotty Rich Boys Weekly.
I'm not sure how to describe the vibe of Amaya in that he really does have, like, he has the attitude and he carries himself, and also the way Jonathan plays him kind of carries himself, like, you're right, the snotty rich kid, like that would be like a bully in a Saturday morning cartoon. But he also is genuinely a good guy, and, like, he actually is a good friend that is trying to think of Sanda's best interests. He literally does the dramatic, we can't be friends with you, it's for your own good. And then Sanda's just like, fuck you, we're gonna stay friends, asshole. And he's like, what are you doing? It's like, we're gonna be friends, let me in.
Ah, that bit was so funny.
Why is your store so easy?
No, Jonathan Leon definitely has, like, he feels like a real kid. Like, there's crazy shit going on around him, and I feel like he's having surprisingly natural reactions. Like, hey, guess what? Maybe continuing to shoot your friend over and over with a gun might leave some scars on you.
Speaking of gun violence...
He's like, you asshole, this is gonna give me trauma.
Yes, again, just that's something to think about when you just consider how unusual guns are in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really do love Jonathan's performance. It's a really good job starting off as this really swarmy, obnoxious kid who's just very clearly willing to just sort of troll Santa Fuyamura. Yeah, especially that whole bit in the introduction where he tries to force him to kiss. That whole bit was just, just really swarmy and obnoxious. And just really interesting seeing him sort of transition into being like an actually genuinely good friend and really coming to care about Santa's well-being. And I thought Jonathan handled the evolution there really well. He's just really good at playing these kind of characters. I don't remember exactly how old he is, but he really does sound apart for these kind of younger characters, so it's always a delight hearing him play them.
Yeah, I really like his performance. I have unfortunately not watched a lot of stuff he's in since, I think, Goodbye Donglish.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, we definitely did Donglish together.
Yeah, he was really good in this. I just like that he is this awful, like, little shit of a child. He's so awful to them. Also, when they're all having the picnic in the last episode, it's like, please get off of me, and the guy's like, no! I also just like that his parents run a bakery and they're sad because they can't make Christmas cakes anymore. But I like that you can hear the ride or die in Jonathan Leon's voice for Amaya down the line.
Depending on that, Amon.
What a delight. What a guy. I think I'm also just happy he's getting more work. I like Jonathan and the things I've heard him in. He's great here. I like it when actors get more work. That's nice. Keep hiring Jonathan. He's a quality actor. All you casting directors who are absolutely listening to every episode of our podcast.
There's probably at least more than 0 than you'd think.
This is true.
Yeah, speaking of things that are terrifying to think about.
Sometimes I'm like, oh right, actual people listen to this. Please, God, I'm so sorry.
We can all share in the shame together. But anyway, speaking of quality actors, wow, Morgan Berry.
Holy shit. There's a lot of really good performances in this show. I think Morgan Berry's Fuyamura is the best performance in this entire dub.
Yeah, I feel like I would flip-flop between Morgan and Lucian, but Morgan's really incredible.
I think the most impressive thing to me about Fuyamura is, like growing up, they are a confusing, complicated contradiction. They are very childish, despite the fact that they are 5'11". They are very androgynous and complicated about their own appearance and how they identify or how they present themselves, because they are not exactly very feminine, but not very masculine either. It's like a complicated gender non-conforming aesthetic that Fuyumura has without really understanding how that makes them feel. They're just like, I'm just doing me. While also going through her own struggle of romance, growing up, while also fighting it a little. I feel like if Ichie Ono is like growing up too fast, I feel like Fuyumura's arc is realizing it is her time to grow up and struggling to come to terms with that change. As heartbreaking as that last episode is, there's a very cathartic thing of like, oh, I see why you say you love somebody, because having that person in this moment in time is fleeting and goes so quickly. Because if you don't tell them you love them now, you may never have the chance to say it again.
Yeah, that was a really good scene. I think another one that really stood out for me was, and this is also just like giving a really good praise to Abitron as well. Just the scene between Ono and Fuyumura, where it's like shortly after Ono comes back to the school, and essentially it's like her and Fuyumura having like a quiet moment together, and then she like asks Fuyumura to get naked in front of her, and Fuyumura is just like really confused about what to do there, and there's just this really awkward tension between the two of them, and Morgan and Abby just really sold that scene, and the awkward mess of emotions going on there was really incredible. This is a character who has to like really juggle a lot, and Morgan really gets it across really well. Like a lot of the aspects of Fuyumura that are really childish, Morgan gets that across pretty well, and then everything with Fuyumura just like exploring herself and trying to figure out who she is. Really great there, and I know we gave a lot of praise earlier to like how well Brittany excelled at making Nico sound like a real child, but I think there's also really something to be said about like how well Morgan Berry gets across like the childness of Fuyumura.
I agree. I think there is something kind of fascinating where that's also what bonds her with Ono, is everybody sees her as very like tall and cool and masculine, and it's like Ono sees her kind of as a little bit beautiful while also being a little bit childish and petty too. Fascinating character that, again, this is a shonen manga that Fuyumura is going for some really interesting stuff that lady authors legit know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget it was running alongside Irmakun, which...
I love Osamu Nishi is officially taken over to Shonen Magazine. But, yeah, no. Morganberry, Fuyumura, incredible performance.
I think the thing that really works for Morgan's performance in this is how innocent and angry and fed up she is with the society around her. Because remember, Fuyumura is fairly violent at the beginning, just like Nabitabe. But because she has a support system around her that genuinely cares for her desires,
yeah,
she's able to regulate it.
I didn't even think of that. It is very similar to Namatame.
One of the establishing moments in the series is Fuyumura punching a bunch of glass about lying, and why would she ever lie about what she wants? She's so direct and forward about it. And Morgan's performance just really captures so much of that. It feels almost effortless how good Morgan is in this show. And I think that this is going to go down as like one of their all-time greatest performances.
I can't even disagree with that.
Did you want to add anything, Amon?
She's great. Morgan turns in a wonderful performance. I think the closest thing I have is just that this is purely an observation I had when thinking about the show, which is that a lot of the topics it's covering are not specific to Japan, but I feel like kind of how they present Japan is kind of the root of things. And the one that came up is just when they kept mentioning how she's unusually tall at 5'11", and it's like, oh, that's like my height. I constantly forget that I am unusually tall by Japanese standards, so a lot of... This is that thing where I watch Seven Samurai, it's like, Toshiro Mifune is so cool, and I'm like, what do you mean Toshiro Mifune is 5'7"? He doesn't seem 5'7". That kind of thing. I don't know. Morgan turns in a great performance. This is lovely. I kind of agree this is probably the best one in the show. She really just nails a interesting, complicated character. But she's also, like, funny as well. Like, I like that Fuyamura is a really funny character, and I feel like Morgan really nails the, like, dry... Like, as Megan, you pointed earlier, the one where it's just, like, your door is really easy to kick open.
Yeah.
Just that kind of stuff, like, not letting on that they're in on the joke kind of stuff.
Like, I think that, like, we're talking about all the drama and stuff, I'm glad you brought up the comedy, because I'm like, Fuyamura's weird, and because she's so weird, her delivery is so strange and funny. Like, her thought process is so bizarre in the way she does things. She literally saves Sanda from the class 10 kids cutting his thumbs off because she runs in the hallway, grabs pipe bombs, blows up their door, and is like, hey, you should make sure you wear your shoes. I was gonna tell you in person, but your door was locked, so I blew it up. Okay, I'm glad you got that message, bye.
Yes, we do stand an autistic queen, God bless.
Fuck.
What?
No, you're right! You're correct, it just caught me off guard.
Yeah, very correct, and you should say it.
You're right, and you should say it.
But yeah, just really nothing but praise for Morgan's performance. Real career highlight, just really exceptional performance. And while it's not like as much of a career highlight, honestly, I think honestly it's just kind of like really bad to talk about Edward and Ben together because their performances really do blend together.
Bullshit, that was Ben Balmaceda.
Oh my god, Ben Balmaceda.
I was like, wait a minute.
Also, I think this is our first time talking about Edward Mendoza, too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we haven't talked about them before.
I'm glad we're talking about Edward Mendoza, because I've been seeing him making some big moves, and I'm glad we're not talking about Seven Deadly Sins, 4 Nights of the Apocalypse.
Yep.
Speaking of characters who should never be allowed in the SANDA universe.
Speaking of the fetishization of youth, 7 Deadly Sins! Keep your hands off my woman!
You ever think about the fact that the guy who wrote 7 Deadly Sins also wrote a manga about golf? A game where the lower your score is, the better?
So, yep, I reviewed the anime for that one. It is definitely very odd that, like, even back then, that stuff was in there. Like, not as bad, but still there.
It's very crazy to find out the legitimate defense is that man don't got internet. And that's apparently true. He's just like that. Anyways. So, Edward Mendoza is adorable and precious and a very good little shit. There is something about the way he plays Sanda that is... It's charming, it's earnest, but also I love it especially when he's having his effective shonen slap battle with Fumi, where he just sounds so fucking fed up with all this bullshit. Calling me cute pissed me off. I'ma kick your ass, but also I'm gonna hug the shit out of you. God, Sanda is fascinating because you want to talk about inner turmoil. Let's talk about the inner turmoil of being both a prepubescent teenager and being a 50 to 60-year-old man at the same time.
Yep, and people, it's just like everyone around you wanting different things out of both versions, just...
One wants to be a kid, has to be the adult, and, like, it's the question, do people want me for me? Do people want me to be the adult that is there for them? Can I be the adult that's even there for me? So I think about, like, one of the most striking visuals in the show is Sanda kissing Nico at Twilight. And, like, that is a striking, damning, complicated inner duality of, like, Sanda and Santa at the same time. And I'm like, oh, that's creating the exact emotion it wants.
Yeah, that is a very powerful visual metaphor that would make it really, really hard to just, like, sell the average person on this show without, like, actually sitting them down to watch it.
Sanda is, like, a show, I simultaneously have to be like, I want to give somebody the heads up, but I feel like, I think you have to trust me on this. I think you are going to like what the show's putting down. No, I fucking really like Edward Mendoza a lot as, like, the good little shit kid baby that's kind of doing his best to be a grown-up. And Ben Balmaceda as, like, the coolest action Santa I've ever seen.
Yeah, really do love what Ben's bringing to the table. Definitely like a pretty good level of quality him, and really fun theatrics that really leads in every scene. But like I was kind of mentioned it before when I was talking about Alex Von David's direction. I think an aspect of Ben's performance that's like, that's really interesting, and in a sense probably makes this like the most complicated performance in the entire dub, is that like, it's not just Ben having to play Santa Claus. It's especially Ben having to also kind of play Edward Mendoza Santa.
I think that's genuinely really impressive, too. He's playing a dude who is playing a dude who's trying to be another dude.
Ah, the old Robert Downey Jr.
The old Robert Downey Jr., but with a little less,
racism?
Yes.
A lot less racism.
God, Tropic Thunder is an incredible movie, but man...
I have never seen it.
Writing that shit down for later.
Really been impressed with definitely a really complicated performance from a technical angle, and Ben really nails it.
I have to talk about one of my favorite scenes with him, and that is when he is in the shed fighting Shadow the Santa Hunter, and he talks about his candy cane.
That.
I have a giant dong!
Also, there's something I just realized, so I feel like I have to get it out there. In the words of one Dr. Doofenshmirtz, man, if I had a nickel for, like, every time Alex Von David had to direct a dub with a lead named Ben, where it said Ben had to, like, play a character who was playing a version of another character, I'd have 2 nickels. So, which doesn't sound like a lot, but man, it's weird that happened twice.
Wait, what's the other one?
Erased with Ben Diskin.
If I had a nickel for every time Ben Balmaceda plays a muscular man who is predominantly naked for a duration of the show, I'd have 2 nickels.
Yeah, there is also that.
What's the other one for that?
That one is Undead Unluck.
Oh. Yeah, Andy's also probably got a massive dong.
They literally show you in episode 1 the size of it through the sensor bar.
So are we talking bigger or smaller than an Alstofo monster can?
I would say probably equivalent in girth, at least.
I really like Ben Balmaceda's performance. I love that it is so childish while also being so adult. It's like waiting to listen to your grandpa say 6'7". I will be executed on sight by the government for that. I really like in the last episode where he's fighting and he finally has the dawning realization that he needs to believe in himself.
That's how you know it's a shonen manga.
How dare you forget the first rule of Kamina?
Believe in the children that believe in you.
Row, row, Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, fight the power!
Oh. Also, don't think I didn't hear them using, like, Christmas tunes as dramatic music.
Yeah, this show uses Joy to the World, like, extremely liberally.
What a great score.
And I just like that Ben's always like, come on, man! Like, that is really channeling a 14-year-old boy. And meanwhile, I find, like, Edward Mendoza being very, like, he makes Sanda sound cute as a button, is such, like, a good guy. And I love when he gets really frustrated. But that is a man playing a 16-year-old man in a 14-year-old's body at times. And that, I think for me, the thing that really, really sold me on his performance was not only the slapping episode, where he's just like, you know what, I know how I'm gonna beat this girl. Santa can't hit a child, but I sure as fuck can. And I really love in the last episode where he hugs Ono.
I love that scene.
And he talks about how the world is blue in that moment. No, the bus does not run through there, but you can hug Ono as she cries about her dead girlfriend. I genuinely really love the performance. If Edward Mendoza, he's been in some stuff, but if this is really what kicks him off into superstardom, it should be. And frankly, I hope that he is getting to be a lead in like a weekly Shonen Jump series that comes out, or he gets to play more around in there. I don't know, man. Akane Banashi's coming up, and I don't know who he could play, but I think he would be pretty fun in that.
There's a couple of people I could see him play.
I'm thinking of the one senior that she has.
You talking about the pretty one?
No, the little one.
Oh, the one with glasses.
And here I was just kind of thinking, like, we're probably good, like, 3 years off from that, but I can see Edward being a pretty good East of the Witch someday.
Oh, fuck. Shit, okay.
Yeah, he would actually be a really good Ichi. But yeah, no, that's what I have. Amon?
I'll definitely agree. Edward he's adorable. Like, he sounds like he's such a quintessential good kid. Like, he is in a really weird, stupid situation, and he is just trying his best, and there's no rule book here. The one mentor he has 2 mentors. One of them's actively antagonistic, the other one's mildly antagonistic, and it's mostly a bunch of other, like, slightly under-emotionally developed children, so he's trying very hard. And I think Edward brings that across really well. Ben's just really funny. Like, I think Ben's just a very funny actor. And I also like that quality of, looping back to bringing up Captain Marvel earlier, a way that Captain Marvel is often written is very much like, no, this is still teenage Billy Batson, like, kind of pretending to be an adult, but not really. And I think I like that, having that quality in Santa Claus, where it's like, yeah, he's an adult, but he's still a 14-year-old. And I think Ben does that good job of, presenting him that way as sort of somebody who's sort of mature, but not all the way, really. Like, he also doesn't know what he's doing. He's just guessing. I also have a stupid tangent I can share for you that is maybe not based in anything, but I think it's funny.
Go ahead.
So apparently I was reading about this, and so apparently this came about because Paru Itagaki just likes Santa Claus. To the point, apparently this was preceded by a one-shot she did after Beastars, which is about Santa Claus having sex with a prostitute, called White Beards and Boobs. You can go find it online. And the thing that mostly this made me it was like, oh, she did this in part because she likes Santa Claus. I had a really stupid thought that I cannot prove. You know who else really likes Santa Claus? The wrestler Mick Foley. Fucking loves Santa Claus. He's obsessed with Santa Claus. And I'm just gonna note, the Baki guy probably watches wrestling, and if you look at relatively recent photos of Mick Foley, he has cut the mullet down specifically, and, he's just a big dude in general,
yes,
but
here
he looks a little like how Santa's gone.
Yeah, and here I'm just going to say the Santa Claus thing is just kind of like, well, we can have at least a little bit of writers barely disguised fetish as a treat. Just as a treat.
Exactly.
Is it even disguised?
No, not really.
I'm thinking. I do not.
Paru Itagaki believes subtext is for cowards.
The only disguise she has is the chicken mask. That's the only disguise. Everything else is laid out bare on the table. I'll eat some eggs, motherfucker.
You ever have one of those moments where you think about how Garth Marenghi's Dark Place is like a weird description of just so much of the last 20 years of fiction?
Yeah, I've seen I know authors who use subtext and are cowards, but I also saw recently, I've written more books than I've read line, which is just...
That's a great one.
Choice line.
Ironically enough, if you still have your Amazon Prime subscription, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, also available streaming on Prime. Go watch it, you will not regret it.
God. No, I think the thing that's fascinating to me is I also do kind of like the portrayal of Santa, despite effectively being a shonen ninja man, that the ideal of what Santa Claus represents and can be is so sincere. Genuinely sincere, in a way, like, I'm almost not used to in pop culture lately. Like, I'm so used to, like, the corrupt Santa, the evil Santa, the robot chicken Santa. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Ironic presentation of beloved childhood figure as evil, that kind of thing.
What if Winnie the Pooh was eating everybody and then going to eat me?
Look, everybody in the public domain, you get one shitty horror movie, then kind of try moving a little away after that, okay? Okay.
Then why are there 3 bad Mickey movies about him being a slasher villain, Andrew? Why are there 3 of them? Why is there going to be a Mickey Popeye crossover slasher movie, if I remember my movie news correctly? Anyways.
After your one shitty horror movie, you do, by law, have to make a yaoi.
Okay, man. Nah, I'm just sitting here trying to imagine Mickey mashing Howie, and that's such a curse. Though.
I'm Popeye the Blowjob Man!
See, those definitely exist. I've seen what they put in Tijuana Bibles back in the day. That already happened.
Well, gosh, Mick, you're so tight.
Beautiful.
You got a really nice caboosey. Remember, canonically at Disney World and Disneyland, you can say goose we call, that's the caboose, or what I call the caboosey.
Well, it's nice knowing you guys. I'm gonna...
No, Max, we didn't make love. We yucked.
You know, Furumura, if you really love her, just say so.
I think
Andrew, you were going somewhere, weren't you?
whatever thought there was, now I'm just thinking about Fuyumura going to Disneyland and genuinely hugging the mascots, and I'm like, that is a adorable image that I need more of.
Her and Ono deserve to have a cute date at Tokyo Disney.
And that actually is a really cute image, and damn, now I'm getting emotional. Anyways,
Please imagine Nico just dragging poor Sanda like, help me.
so I think the sincere Santa
Yes.
Claus, that's where I was going with this. I like the way they do that, the ideal of childhood innocence, having belief in something better, wanting for better, while also telling them it's okay. Like, Santa is not Peter Pan. He is not saying, you must forever be young for me to be here for you. I'm saying, you don't have to go to the future afraid and unsure. Just believe in somebody, and you can believe in yourself.
That just reminded me of, like, one of my favorite scenes between him and Yagiuda, where Yagiuda decides he's going to, like, do his best to hold off Namatame, and he's like, well, I have to do this because I'm the only actual adult in this room. Like, you didn't have to take on this responsibility. And then somewhere on the line Santa's like, well, you were a kid too once, were you?
I thought that was great. Which, as an aside, as silly as it is, Black Santa fucking rules.
Mm.
I love the power-up progression is it's Naked Santa, then it's Ninja Santa, and then it's Black Ninja Santa. Like, it's silly, but it's genuinely awesome that his solution to fighting children as Black Santa is, I'm gonna bear hug the shit out of you till you pass out.
What is it called? Like the good night sleep?
The good night bear hug! Okay, Amon, you might be onto something, because the goodnight bear hug does feel a little bit like a pro wrestling move, now that I think about it.
I'm just saying, if your father writes something like Baki, you have probably watched a fair amount of martial arts and wrestling in your youth just by being around him. That's all I'm saying.
You're not wrong.
The dots are there.
I knew I was just gonna say, I wonder if the Ultra Instinct form really is just gonna be, like, full Santa suit with all the reindeer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I will now read the rest of this manga whenever the fuck Titan Manga puts out the rest of it, because I gotta know not only do I need to know where the rest of the story goes, I need to know the evolution to the Santa power scaling. Anyways, I love Edward, I love Ben, and I do love how much change both him and Santa have from the beginning of the show to the end of the show, and I love the last scene of the show a lot. There's just this very powerful imagery of this vulnerable, heartbroken kid that is towering over this smaller child, not as an adult, but like a genuine friend in their time of need. Fucking kills me, man. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking powerful series. While also being about naked Santa Claus having shonen powers with sleigh bell skis and all that shit.
And with that, I guess we're good to move on to final thoughts. So might as well go ahead, Andrew.
Okay, look, this is October. This does not count for this year's dubby. It will count for next year's dubbies. I will write this on the Christmas dubby list, okay? Okay. Just gonna write some names, and that will come up in a year's time. I really like the show. I really like this dub. Paru Itagaki is a fucking sicko, and genuinely there's nothing more beautiful than seeing, like, true sicko art that is unique and sincere. We need the real unabashed sickos out there.
Mm-hmm. Amon?
Oh, this is great. This is a really interesting, fascinating, unique show. And I think the people who put this dub together did a really good job of capturing what makes it so special and interesting. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to give this for dubbies, like, next year. I don't even want to think that far ahead right now. But it'll be on the list, and I hope this does get a season 2 to cap off the series, and I definitely hope that everyone here gets to come back and finish these characters off. They were great.
Megan?
Oh yeah, 100%. I want season 2 of this. I would love for Titan Manga to pick up production of the manga, because I do plan on picking this up. I don't know why, when I was driving home the other day, too, this reminded me a lot of the fact I like another very sickos-esque show kind of like this called Gleipnir.
Oh, that just made Amon very happy.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point in comparison. Like, that's not wrong.
If you like this absolute sickos fest, please go watch another absolute sickos fest in Gleipnir. It's just also I realized I need to pick up that manga too. Because that was also ended in a place where, like, I want to see more of the sicko show. The dub of this is fantastic. It was very easy to listen to. It was very charming, very fun. I commend a lot of the team that went on this, especially, like, Morgan Berry, Abby Trott, Lucian Dodge. Everybody did a really great job. Again, like Jet said earlier in the performance, please don't let the fact that this was an Amazon show, steer you away from this dub. It's not AI. AI could never do this as much as people would like to think that it can, and I wish the AI bubble a very burst.
It's going to be a catastrophic bubble bursting, but at this point, I think we just kind of need to see the fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this show a lot. Really didn't know what to expect coming into this weird Paru Itagaki Santa show, but I definitely wasn't expecting this level of social commentary, and I was really blown away by it. Just really fascinating, really funny, really heartfelt, a really excellent show all around. Even Dumb Aside, this was just like straight up one of my favorite shows of 2025. Just really incredible. And as far as the dub goes, just really excellent across the board. Like, really great direction from Alex, and really great script writing from Chris, and really strong performances across the board. Abby Trott, Lucy Dodds, Morgan Berry, Susan Young. Like, everyone did a really incredible job with this one. I really have nothing but good things to say about it. And like Megan was saying, like, AI could never do this. It's just really great, really human performances across the board. Like everyone here should just be really proud of the work they did. It's really exceptional. With that more or less wraps us up for tonight.
I hope we don't get cold next year.
Oh, after that little Disney outburst, we're absolutely getting cold. What are you kidding?
Excuse me, I'm the one who made that, and I've made worse jokes at
no,
Disney
we're all getting the cold by proxy too. Don't you worry.
The mouse is shipping it to us as we speak. But anyway, we're the Dumb Talk Podcast. You can find us. You usually have new episodes going up on YouTube every other week. So check us out there. You can also find us on all the usual podcast places. Your Spotify, your Apple Podcasts, your Podbeans, just, wherever you find your podcasts. And if you'd like to support anything that we do, you can do it through a one-time donation through our Ko-fi, or you can be one of our lovely patrons. And before we end tonight, just want to give a shout out to our patrons. In the $5 tier, we have GR Pictures, Kibwood Soup, Rachel Wenti, Megan's Mom and Dad, and Michelle's Travis. And in the $10 tier, we have Anthony Brow, Carla Lessicow, James, Julia W., Pika Greg, and Shoulder. Thank you for all your support, guys.
We love your faces. You are getting on the nice list this year.
And before we do the usual plug, Abad, old friend, do you have a dusty old song for us tonight?
I do, actually. I have a thing I wanted to plug. Should I do that now or later?
No, go ahead.
Okay. If you like weird things that relate to Christmas, I was on another podcast last month. It is called Movie Raccoons. It is my friend Brian and their brother talking about weird and bad movies. And we were on talking about a movie I suggested, which is called Blood Beat, which is technically a Christmas movie in that it's set during Christmas, but it's mostly about people in Wisconsin being murdered by a supernatural entity that just happens to be a suit of samurai armor the director found in an antique store in Chicago.
Oh shit, what?
So if that sounds fun, you should go look up Movie Raccoons wherever you listen to podcasts and listen to the most recent episode. You'll have a great time.
Incredible.
But that's not why you asked me to do it. You wanted me to give you a dusty old song, and I don't even have a song for you guys this thing. I have an entire record for you. If you want something that will get you in the Christmas spirit and also clear out your Christmas party at the end of the night, might I recommend to you a Christmas record put out by Z Records in 1981. Z Records was a small alternative label based out of New York. This one is mostly well known at this point because it is where the Waitress's song Christmas Wrapping was first released, but we're not recommending it for that. We're recommending it for all the weird shit that's on there. For example, do you want to hear a Christmas song called Hey Lord that is by the synth punk group Suicide? Well, guess what? You can. If you're not familiar with the song and you're familiar with Suicide, picture a Christmas song by Suicide. Yeah, there you go. It sounds like that. And if you're not, picture a Christmas song by a band made up of two guys that call themselves Suicide. Yeah, there you go. It sounds like that. If you want something a little more exciting, though, maybe try the song Christmas with Satan by James White. It's about a guy who dies and goes to a Christmas party with Satan afterwards. So do that. For the holiday playlists.
Alright, so anything else you guys want to plug?
My name is Andrew, aka Classy Spartan. You can find me over on Blue Sky at classyspartan.bluesky.social. I do two other things outside of this podcast. I'm on Surreal Resolutions Podcast O&A, where I talk about anime news with my buddy Jet here. And I'm also a regular co-streamer on my lovely fiance's Twitch streams, Lilac Anime Review, spelled REVU. At the time of this recording, we've been going through pretty much all three Insomnium File games again. We just beat the new No Sleep for Konami Date, and we just started up a Nirvana Initiative playthrough again.
Indeed. Megan?
I am Megan. You can just follow me on Blue Sky at Queenera. I mostly just shoot the shit and hang around the internet.
Cheers to that.
Okay. Amon?
I'm on Duel US on Blue Sky. Duel has 2 U's in it. I talk about movies and comic books and shit. You can go read what I think there.
Cool. As for me, you can find me on Blue Sky at Zero Infinity, where I'll usually just be rambling about anime, I guess. You can also find me on True Resolutions Podcast O&A, usually talking about anime news with fellow Dumb Talk host Andrew. And you can also usually find me doing weekly anime reviews on A&N. This site currently doing reviews for Digimon Beat Break, but with the winter season underway, what I'll actually be doing the rest of the season. So guess I'll find that out. But when I do, be sure.
Whatever happens, Jet, I hope you don't get an Adventurer's Daily Grind at 29. I think you'll be able to avoid it, but I'm praying for you, buddy.
I mean, it doesn't seem like the kind of show most people would vote for.
Some people are masochists, and some people will make the masochistic thing.
Oh yeah, they will. Oh yeah, they certainly will. But I know, usually it's pretty obvious when people are gonna throw out the troll vote, and that doesn't seem like a troll vote.
Either way, I'm rooting for polar opposites. Whoever gets that one, that was a great premiere.
Yeah, that otherwise more or less wraps us up for tonight. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us, Saint Nick.
Thank you for having us.
Alright, so if we're the reindeer, who's which reindeer?
I'm not being Vixen because I'm the only person with vagina here. I want to be Dasher. Wait, no, I'm slow as shit. Fuck.
I don't know, you seem like a Prancer to me, Megan.
Okay, cool, I'll be Prancer.
I'll take Blitzen. Blitzen sounds like a very delicious pastry.
Yeah.
Blitzen these balls in your mouth.
I know, I'm on Donner.
Sure. It's actually the one I was thinking.
Donner does sound like a mid-40-year-old bassist in a garage band somewhere.
I'll be honest, I just picked it because it makes you think of the Donner Party.
Oh good, I wasn't the only one thinking about it.
Oh my god.
Oh good, I was the only person. Oh, thank God, I'm on. I was thinking that too.
I think we've established I'm a little morbid. This maybe isn't a surprise.
Sickos that pick up on a work life.
Yeah.
I guess it does more or less wrap things up. So, a Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Ho ho, fight the power. Also, I didn't even go this whole episode without making a Kids Next Door reference. I'm proud of myself.
Amazing.
This would be the show to do that.
Otaku on.
Rock over Boston, rock on Chicago.